Hey everybody, it's Miriam here at Paper Wheel Studio. I don't think I've showed you this journal online, and I just need to finish it up, so I thought I'd come on here today. And I got to put a closure on, I got to put something on my spine, but I thought we could do a quick flip through and just kind of show you. This kit is from My Porch Prints, and I thought I'd bring you along and just show you. I've added things to it and created here. This is a little flip out bird cage, and it has a little place in there where you can stick that, and then there's a tag here inside. So that just goes in there to hide it. A little closure there. A side tuck here. More pockets and tags. And this is a belly band, but it's not in the center. It's just a belly band off to the side. The back end's open too. I left some place there to write with a little cluster. Again, another belly band and a tag with a back pocket there. And then I have this stuck down in that with a little pull tab here. And I like to go through these one more time before I finish them off, just to make sure nothing's sticking together and things are sticking where they should. I have, this is just covering up the white page and my graph paper. Just stuck down. I had a bunch of the fussy cuts with this kit, so I shrunk some of them and then I had the big ones. I got this pocket here. And a piece of tracing paper with just a little tab on it. And the tab actually fixed a tear in the paper. So, got that. And I have a paper clip here. This is an altered paper clip hooked on. And these all flip up. Each flips up with writing spots on the back and a writing card underneath. So it gives a good hidden journaling spot there. And I just simply put the little circular tag to hold those down there. Why isn't it clipping? Because I didn't put it down far enough, that's why. Okay. And then I have this bottle is acting as a belly band here. And more of the digitals, couple more tags, and a little corner tuck here. I have this pocket with a large journaling card. And again, I put, I think, a fussy cut piece on every piece that you wouldn't write on. It has fussy cut. And I've got a belly band with an envelope there and some hidden things in my envelope. I also have a vellum envelope here with a girl tag and a tab there at the top. This journal has already been sold. I have a circular pocket here. And this is a copy dyed, it's old writing paper. We found a ream of really old writing paper in a thrift store here. When I say we, it's a friend of mine that does journals with me, and she often goes shopping, and she helps me out when I need extra things done that I'm not able to do. She'll help me out and do them. This is just, again, a side tuck with a tag in and a pretty perfume bottle on there. So that's slipped in there. A couple tags stuck in here. And a little cluster on that pocket there on the bottom with some digitals and a few different things lined up there. Pay attention, Miriam, and that way you can hit the pocket. These digitals in this kit are just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous, and I love them. Okay, so I have a couple a tag and a journal card here. Yeah. And I just printed my journal cards on cardstock, and some of the tags the same. So another pocket with a tag in there. Just a simple decoration on the blue page. I've got a double pocket here. I've got my pocket in the front with a couple library cards. Again from the kit. Didn't have to do anything to those. And then I made a inventory tag. Yes, this is an inventory tag that I created and embellished and put in there. And it goes into the back pocket. There's actually a pocket. It's like an envelope, but I've got a front pocket here, and then I've got my back pocket on that. I've got a side tuck here with a collaged envelope in it. A flip out here with the birds. And the birds are from another kit, and I'm sorry I don't recall where they came from. It was one I got on Etsy. I apologize, but it coordinated so well with the blue and ivory that I threw it in. Then I have a piece of vellum. And I have a, using my faux stamps that came with the kit and made a belly band. And just stuck a pretty paper with the aqua butterflies in that for writing or journaling. Then I have a library pocket here with a couple small pieces of ephemera stuck in that. And I think, yeah, I need a little ribbon on here. So let's see. I had some ribbon here. I was going to use part of it on the front, but I think I have enough that I can cut a piece and just simply tie it at the top of that little tag there, and that'll finish that off. So I don't want to spend a lot of time flipping through because we're going to work on the closure for this and finish off the front. Alright, that ribbon just did not want to cut. My scissors just don't want to cut that, do they? There. Goodness. Let's try again. Ah, got it that time. Must just have been one holding my mouth or my scissors, right? Oh, I have a blue dauber up here, guys, that I want to get rid of because I don't want to end up with inked page edges that happen to still be there on my desk. So, yeah. Trying not to get any ink where I don't want it on this because this journal is ready to go. As soon as I finish off my closure and a few more things on here. I don't really want to tie that. I think I'm going to just glue this ribbon down on both sides with my Fabri-Tac. I don't have any thread, or I could come along with thread and tie around it. Let's see here. I haven't used this for a bit. I hope it's... Usually it's very good and flowing. This is Aleene's Fabric Fusion. It's not Fabri-Tac, but it works just like it, though it comes out a little quicker than the Fabri-Tac. So I'm just going to put a little bit there, push that piece against my cardboard. It's probably not going to hold immediately. This takes this glue just a little longer than, say, the actual fabric glue. And I'm going to put that back upside down in my glue holder so it'll be ready to go when I start working on the front. And here I just want to pinch this together, and I'm going to hold it together there for a minute or so. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I recently I got 2 journals I'm working on for someone. They requested both. So I've been working on the 2 of those in between all my little projects and using some of the projects I made in the journals. And tomorrow I'm going to bring the other journal along and get it finished up. So, and we'll do the front of the journal and a closure on it as well. I just have a few more pockets to throw in it and the front and the closure, and it's done as well. I'm going to leave this out to dry, and then I will come back and add it at a later time there. But I want to make sure that ribbon adheres to my card. If I have to, I will tie a little tiny piece around the top there of a piece of string or ribbon Had to get a drink of my tea. Too much talking. And okay, now let's see. There's some writing space. More writing space. I love these. I still have more of these digitals. I just love them, and they'll go well in other journals too. This is well, that little corner got folded up there somehow. So let's give it, I'm not going to glue it right now. I'll come back and glue it because I want to leave it open when I glue that. I've got a journal card in here. And I have a side tuck here with a couple tags, which is seam binding at the top. There's a couple short pieces of seam binding on the top of those to grab on to pull them out of there. And then I have this pocket. It was a 4-way pocket. I just decided to put one of the mason jars down and make it a full-size pocket here. And I left the ribbon long enough so it can pop out and you can see it over the other pages. Better close that down here. And I'll come back. You know what? I'm going to fix that without even having to glue it. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just take the corner edge where that's coming up. We're just going to take that right off there. And I'm going to do that on the other side to match. And then I don't have to worry about it not staying down. And I don't like the straight look so much sometimes anyway. So that'll give it definitely a rounded corner look, but it also will, gotta turn it around here so I can cut this correctly. Plus it'll fix my problem where my papers were coming apart. So there's a fix to everything. Just gotta sometimes work around it or figure a fix out. So there we go, we have that. And I did not ink around that pocket, so I'm not gonna worry about those two corners right now. Yep, that took care of my issue there. Then I flipped this page, and we already looked at that one. Then more digital. This is newsprint paper. And again, I just added the extra little digital pieces on them. And then I have a large pocket in the back with a tag that just happened to have a little extra glue on there. It should come right off, and it did. I've got this pocket tag that has a mason jar here in it. And then I have a postcard that came with the kit as well, that I simply used a piece of collage paper on the back and I put that down in this pocket. So that's the ivory journal. I used this. This is one of the background papers that I used in the front, or excuse me, in the back and in the front. I like how that gives that kind of a look, and I use one of these pockets in the front. So that's the blue and ivory kit from my Porch Prints that was my basis, and now I need to put something here to cover this glued area. I need to cover my spine, and I need to do my closure. So what I thought I would put there, I have this Tim Holtz key, and I'm going to try tying a bow on it. And I want to glue it down over top of those glue bits there because I don't want to leave that exposed. And I haven't been able to get it off of this, but I like the book. It looks like linen covered, and I just love it. And I want to keep it that natural color, but I need to cover up my spine. And I need to cover up my glue mess that I made on the front. So let's just see if we can't tie a nice looking bow on here. And pull it tight. Very tight. And I probably won't. I probably just will glue the key down and leave the bow just kind of on there, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when I get it tied. I don't want a large bow on this. because I don't want it to take away from my beautiful topper there. It's just stuff I layered up on the front. I like doing my front covers. These are a collage of things that pertain to the journal I'm making, or like I did here. You know what? We're going to do the bow. We're going to make 2 rabbit ears. Like that. And I'm going to go around and put 1 rabbit ear through. And pull on it. And we have a bow. Yeah, that works. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be this way, Miriam. And let's make the pieces a lot smaller, and maybe when I pull it, ooh, that piece somehow got twisted around, so we're going to fix it. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, what did I do? I twisted it and it still is coming out crooked. I shouldn't have twisted it. Let's twist it around here. And maybe okay, there we go. Now it should pull right or correctly or look better. There we go. Alrighty. So let's pull these down. Okay. Now I'm going to trim my ribbon. Hopefully my scissors will cooperate and cut this well. Didn't cut it exactly like I wanted, but what I meant, I didn't want them to cut it good. I didn't mean, well, forget what I was trying to say because I'm trying to concentrate on my bow. And I messed. Couldn't think straight there. So who knows what I was saying. I can't figure it out and forget, then I'm sure you don't know either. So we have the little key here, and I like that. I'm going to leave the bow loose and just glue the key down. Yeah, that'll cover that up. I like the idea. This key says Dream. It's one of the Tim Holtz keys. I have several and I've rarely used them, so let's just see about using it now. And my glue is coming out very well at the moment. Of course, it's not going to get down here on this key where I want it, so let's see if I can't make it get on here. Oh, I have a hard time using Fabrifix because it's in this bottle like it is, so I really want it to glue down my key. However, I'm going to use white glue on the rest of it, I believe. Let's see if I can't get some more out of this because I'm having trouble squeezing. Well, you know what? I'm going to switch off and I'm going to use my white PVC glue. It is a book glue that's often used in bookbinding, so it will work just fine. It will just take a little longer for it to dry, and I don't mind. I don't have to, these aren't on a deadline or anything, so be fine. I'm just really going to get some glue on this and stick it on here. And while I measure my pieces of ribbon for my spine, it can be drying. I have my fan on in here today because it's so warm. At least I'm warm. Outside it's not extremely warm. I don't think it got above 72 today, but and we've had rain. It looks like it's going to pour the rain down anytime. All right. So let's see. I think that will be enough to hold it. Oh, Miriam, don't mess up and get your glue somewhere else here. Whole point is to cover up your glue messes. All right, so I'm good with that, and that's going, it actually went right where I wanted it when I put it down there. I'm just gonna wipe that away a little bit. Otherwise it doesn't matter. I want to make sure I don't have it horribly crooked on there, and I don't. I like the way that looks, so we're gonna leave that like that. And now I'm going to work on my spine here. I've got to cover up words, and I know this isn't going to, you're going to be able to see through it. So what I'm going to do is cut me a piece, and I'm going to layer this with my lace and then glue it down. Yeah. Closure's just going, the closure is going to be some elastic lace. It'll be fairly simple to put down. I'm going to cut this just slightly longer than my book, because I just want to make sure I have enough when I go, in case I make a wrong measurement or something. I like to cut a little excess, and the little excesses that get snipped off are used in clusters or in some other way. The little tiny ones often are put into a cluster. All right, that's what I'm using for my closure, so I'm laying that over there. Then I have, okay, let's put that back up there. I love this, but it's not going to work. So I love all the little ones on this one, are just really awesome. They're some of my favorites. Let's tuck that in there. And let's go ahead and tuck this one in because I'm not using it. All the ones, but the one that I'm using are out there. Okay. We will tuck it in under the other. See how I did that? I did it and then it caught on my finger and pulled it right out. Okay. And I'm going to run this one around. Just try to get them out of my way so I can get the one I like off there. I really like that one, but I guess I could put it along the front edge, but I don't have any that matches it well to get down the spine, so I really don't want to use it. In this case, I'm going to use a crochet lace on the end to layer up. I think that will look very pretty. Okay, so that'll hold that, and the top came undone again. Oh well. Let me cut a piece of this long enough, longer than my book. There we go. About right here. And probably, I don't know if I can, I might be able to glue it down and get it to dry. Tell you what, I'm going to get off of here and I will be back to finish this up after I get my two laces glued together, and then I'll come back and finish this book up. Okay, I am back where we were working on my blue and ivory journal here, and I have glued these two pieces together. I just used some glue, glued the two together, and now I have a bunch of Fabric Fusion. It doesn't dry as quick as the Fabri-Tac does, but it is just as secure, and honestly, I'll be honest, it was a little cheaper, so I went ahead and got it to give it a shot, see if it works, as well as the others. I love to buy crafting supplies, and if I can save some money somewhere, that's what I do. Alright, so I'm just going to put this right along the spine here. Not worried too much about, I want to just try to get it even. And I'm going to press down my edges here. Then I'll pick it up. I don't want to touch the white linen with glue on my fingers, so I'm trying to be careful. And I'm just going to press that down across that spine, and I'll trim it off once it's completely dry. So just making sure I got it clear up to the end. If I touch my book with my glued hand, I want to make sure that I wipe it off because I don't want any glue messes. Oh, there, that didn't leave me much of a mess there or anything. And I'm just pressing this down. I will probably come along with some more glue once that is stuck and put it down along this edge. Okay, so we've got this glued down on the spine, and like I said, I haven't decided if I'm going to come back here. I may add a little bit of a trim beside it, and I might just leave it like it is. I don't know. I'll think about it. I do want to put some kind of a closure on this. It needs that for sure. And I have some stretchy lace. I was going to see how it might do if I used it for my closure. Unfortunately, I didn't think of it before I put the front down. So I'm hoping I can slip this in under and add, yes, I can. Slip this in under here, and if I add enough glue, it will come down and that will hold that piece there. So that's my plan on that side. I haven't thought about the back yet, but I'm going to give it, I'm guessing, y'all, about a foot. Let's just go at least the length of the book. Okay? And we're going to go a little bit more for good measure. So there's plenty of time available. Hope everybody's having a good day today. If you are a praying person, I'm having a surgery on Wednesday. I appreciate all the prayers. And I appreciate just even my subscribers for subscribing to my channel. It is, for some reason I keep saying today. I apologize. I'm going to try to quit that. Anyway, there I go. See, it's habit, isn't it? I would not have my channel if it weren't for my subscribers. So I appreciate everyone that is subscribed. If you are not subscribed, please like and subscribe. Share videos with your friends. Once I make it to 500 subscribers, I'm going to have another giveaway. So, how to get a drink there? Let's get this piece down, and I don't know what glue I want to use, but Fabri-Tac did so well that I don't have a lot of squeeze with it, so I asked someone to squeeze it for me before I came back on a few minutes ago. So let's see if I can manage to get some under here without getting it everywhere. So I'm going to just lay some under here to hide my edge if I can. Yeah, see, these bottles are very hard to squeeze. I don't recommend using them if you can't squeeze real well. That's for sure. So, probably going to have to transfer that to a different bottle long term. I use the white glue to glue my key down, and it is very secure. It's a PVA glue that's used often for book binding. Oh, that's pretty wet there, Miriam. Stick your hand in it. It's going to get your fingers wet. So let's turn that up so I don't end up getting glue everywhere like I usually do. So I'm going to turn that up that way and leave it. And I had get my pen out of the way that I used to operate my phone. And I'm going to get my big needle and use it to hold my front thing up so I can get my glue down in there. It's probably blocked because I don't think I did a very good job of putting the speckle in here. I think it's been unplugged all night, honestly. I'm going to cut me another piece of this elastic trim here. Sorry I'm off camera, I pulled it closer to me, but just going to cut another piece here, approximately the same size. So I'm all ready to go when I start my gluing and figuring, and then I got to figure out what I'm doing with the back. Not quite sure here yet. I don't know. I also could possibly, I don't think I want to put these on the inside coming out for my closure. Why isn't this cutting? Probably because of the way I'm holding my scissors. Let's concentrate, do a little bit. There we go. That's the way I was holding the scissors. That'll do it every time. And it's been long enough that this ribbon has dried as well. So as you can see, you know, it's not, unless somebody rips it apart, it's going to make a nice pull. It's not going to come apart. And it's all ready to put back in the journal. Okay. Gonna get my glue here. It's just, you know, a lazy Sunday afternoon of crafting here. Finishing up projects that need completed. And thought I'd just bring you along while I finished up the very last of this journal, and I wanted to show it to you. And now, I did use a digital kit for this. I like using some digitals, but I'm learning that I kind of like the grungy, vintage kind of look. And aging of stuff. I really like doing that and have fun doing that. I'm not great at it yet, but I'm a beginner and I'm learning, and I've been bringing you along with some of my experimental things here. Some of those I'll keep, and others, like oil pastels, I wasn't real fond of those. I probably won't keep. I had my oil pastels out the other day, and I was asking my granddaughter, who's 9, by the way, she just turned 9, if they were good oil pastels, because I didn't like how they, even on my watercolor paper, they weren't smearing well. If you remember that video, if not, you can go watch that. But at the end of that video, I kind of discovered I'm not really a fan of oil pastels. She used mine and she said, oh, Mimi, they're working just fine. So apparently it's not the oil pastels, it's either the paper I was using or the blending that I was doing. And it does take that fabric fusion quite a bit longer to dry, but just gonna make sure I keep pressing it on there if it comes off, because I want that to be good and glued, and I know I used a lot of fabric fusion in that. So get this on, and when it's done, my white glue probably won't take as long to dry, but I'm really gonna get it in there like I did when I did my key here. So I did say I was going to use something to hold that up with. What did I do with that needle I had? Here we go. If I can get down in there and get some good squeeze of my white glue, it will be good. I'm going to use the dull end of this needle because it does have a sharp point on the other end. I got these on Amazon. They're really great for removing backs of stickers. And when I'm sewing together journals, I can use this to kind of hold, when I put it through one hole, the larger needle will kind of hold everything there while I'm sewing in my signature. So I'm really going to put a lot of glue right there, and I'm going to bring it on out to my edge, but I want the beginning of it to start under my what do you call these things? Topper? Journal topper. I suppose that's what you call it. Okay. Got quite a bit of white glue down there now, you can see. And I'm going to take one of these. Instead of using my fingers, my fat little fingers. Well, they're kind of long, but they're fat. Alright. I'm going to use this so that I can raise the doll into my needle and kind of shove that in under there. So, and try to flatten it out a bit if it will. There we go. That's good. And then I'll bring that back down and add some more glue on top. I'm just going to let that one be there. And that kind of coordinates with the trim I have at the front and back, and I just guesstimated my middle. I'm probably a little off, but it doesn't matter as long as it looks good, right? So I'm going to lift this up here and put some more glue in under here and just press that down around the tie to make sure it's stuck both at the top and the bottom. That should, there where I put the lace though, the glue probably went right through it, I would say, but let's get some here. This is pulled up a bit. Needs more glue here. My glue is not cooperating today. Either that or Miriam doesn't have a lot of strength. I'm not sure which it is. So we'll go with it's glue's fault. I never want to say it's my fault, of course. Why would I blame myself? Right? That down and get this down across here, and I'm going to squeeze some in under here. This glue dries clear, so if it would come out a bit, it's not going to matter because it all dries clear anyway. Alright, so I'm just going to hold this down for a couple minutes. Then I'm going to carefully turn the book upside down and see what I can do on the back. I don't want to just stick a piece of lace on there and have the end of the lace. So likely what I will do, I have a bunch of circles punched out somewhere. Somewhere I have circles. And if they're handy where I can get to them. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Whoops. Let's give a little more dot right there under this part. Just a little bit. That way that doesn't pull back on here. My glue is flowing. Just gotta get a good squeeze. There we go. Push that piece down there, and while it is sticking down, I think my circles are right behind me. I'm not going very far. You'll hear my wheelchair moving in my craft room. It always makes a click and noises when it's clicking in and on and off the drive. And let's see. Circles, circles, circles. Here they are. Bet I have a pretty circle. Oh well. Get that later. I have a pretty circle, as I started to say, that I could put on the back of this and cover it up without too much problem. And I probably would still coordinate it with my kit. So, get back up to my desk here, and I'm going to pull one of these out, see if I don't have something that will coordinate well. I see a few different options in here. So let's see what I have that might coordinate with the back of this book. But I'm going to leave it like this for a few because I want to see the colors on the front to coordinate my circle with. Alright. That, if it didn't have the stripes, would work. Let's see what else I've got here. Other option is something more neutral. We'll leave that one out. That one's got red on it. Don't want a red. Let's see if I have any butterflies that have a lot of blue with them. I don't know. Gotta scoot that back a bit. I don't want bright gold, so you're not an option. I really don't want, I don't want that one either. All right, decisions here. Let me set these up where you can see what I'm looking at. No, too much pink. There's blue. That's a potential option, actually. That might go well. Let's see what else I've got here. No. What are you? What if I layered a couple up? That would, what do you think? I kind of like it. And all it's going to do is cover the end of my lace, so it's really not a big deal. Let's see if there's anything else in here that might, no, that's too blue. It's more of an aqua kind of blue. I also have some of these that are the Viewfinder Master circles. I haven't tried to use any of those. I have some ideas, but I haven't tried to use any of them. I think this one's going to be, unless I want to hunt and search for something else, I think this is going to be my best bet, and I like it, so I think I'm good. Oh, looky down in there. 2 tickets, clear in the bottom. Don't know how they got there, but pull them out, lay them to the side. Alright, I think this is going to be it. Yep. One more. Nope, it's pinky. There is a female blue with blues, but I like the flowers because I think the white flowers are very similar to what I have on the front. So, do I want to layer? I like the layered look. Wish I had a way to cut it down, but I'm not even going to try to cut a circle smaller than what it is, because I'll mess it up if I do. I'm not a good circle cutter, and fussy cutting is not my expertise, you might say. I also have this plain one. Does it? No, it doesn't layer as good because it's much smaller. Alright. Or I do have some bigger brown circles. I don't want that. But I think it's going to be too big. Yeah. That's really too big. Alright. I think we'll use this one. And just glue it on to give a little bit of a background. And we're going to use that to cover the end of the lace on the back of my book. Now, if I had, I could always punch something out from my digital kit. It did not have any small circles though. I mean, I have some like these, but that's not going to work real well. So let's just go with what I have. Where is my little glue bottle? Probably yelling it's right there. And here it is, clear back here. And probably clogged because I didn't put my straight pen in it. These little glue bottles are just so much easier for me to use. I do have bigger ones that I could use, but this is what was on my desk at the time. I always try to use what's handy. Okay, let's turn this baby over. You could also use a ticket on the back, or really just anything to cover. That still does not want to stick there. I'll turn this all the way over. It's still good wet glue there. I wonder if, I don't even think a paper clip's going to hold it along that edge, so I think I'm just going to have to flip it and then push it back down here. I could also bring my stuff all the way across and slip it under here. And you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. On second thought, is this going to be long enough? Probably not, now that I've cut it. Let's see how big this piece is. And I think I'm going to use, yeah, I'm going to use it. It seems to be, I'll check it out. It seems to be a little bit longer than what I cut. And this is all I have left of this, so I got to make do with what I have. All right, let's hold those two ends and check it here and see if it's, oh, it's an inch or so longer. It gives me a little bit more. All right, now I'm going to pull this back since my glue's still wet. Again, I'm going to give it a good bit of white glue here, and I may do that on the ends there too. That might help hold it. Okay, let's see, Miriam. You want to make sure that everything's gonna line up right. So let's take this and pull it straight up to the back and make sure it's straight along my side piece here. Okay, so we'll want it to come out about right here. I'll mark that with a dot of glue, because you can glue this even though it's connected. I'm going to hide my end under that, but I'm still going to give it glue here along this edge and glue it a couple places down, or maybe all the way down across the back. All right. And I'm just going to run myself kind of 2 lines. I don't want to go past the width of my lace. I need another line of glue here, so let's keep slipping in my hand. There we go. Probably notice when I pinch the glue bottle, I use my thumb in a different way. It's because I don't have a lot of strength in that pincher, and I can fold my thumb over and I get a lot more strength when I'm opening a glue bottle or something along this line like I'm doing now. So I'm going to simply put that down a good bit there and make sure it didn't slide on me. It's starting to get tacky and stick. I think I just had so much and did not want to even get sticky. This, I believe, is my longer piece, so it's the one I'm going to use, I think. Let's try this again. Let's get the one that has an inch longer. My glue's not going to dry that fast, Miriam. Okay, it was the right one. So I'm just going to use one of my edges here and push it down in under this to make sure my edge is covered. Press it down till that white glue grabs. Oops, that piece didn't go down in there, so we'll press it down so my white glue can grab there. That'll help hold the rest of that lace over, I think. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of white glue on the top and bottom before I'm done here. And I don't want to stretch this, but I want to make sure that elastic is good and glued down with my glue here. Because if I stretch it, it's going to put pressure on it, and it's not going to stick down very well. See, I already pulled it up. Let's get that stuck down though. There we go. Pull that up. And I am going to hold that there for a minute or two. I hope you all have a wonderful weather where you are. Our Sunday is cooler than normal. I'm not sure if we're getting rain or not. It was projected to rain all day Saturday, but it did not. It just looked like it was going to. I really don't know if it rained in the evening. I wasn't paying that much attention, but in the afternoon, it was very nice, and I just pulled all that nice lace I glued down with all that glue that hasn't stuck here yet. And I have some glue that dried up here on the back. I'm not so worried about it. I will probably use my craft knife and scrape that off there at a later time. And I want to make sure this is down really good here. So just pressing down, allowing that glue to get a little bit of tackiness, and then just pressing it down. to hold it. Make sure I get it good up towards the edge, which it is sticking down good. Probably have the elastic a little crooked, but let's see. Probably because my glue line wasn't completely straight. There we go, that's better. Much better. Okay. And we're going to cheat here, and I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to give this some white glue as well here. That gets a little tackier, and hopefully it will hold it up there in place on the end and it won't keep coming off. Yeah, there we go. Really push that in there. Push that down. So don't be like me and put with so much glue that it's going to take forever for that to dry. Especially if you're used to it drying quicker. I had someone put way too much on there for me. But that's okay. I told him to do it, so my doing. Next time, I'll use less. So I'm going to make sure I had lots of glue there. Alright, so there we go. Make sure that's good and even. I might be able to go ahead and cut these, and that might solve my problem of now that I use the white glue. Tell you what, if it comes up, I'll stick it back down, but I'm going to get this cut off here so that I can stick the whole end down. All right. Oh, come on. It's wet. It's thick. And it doesn't want to cut when it's wet. Scissors don't want to work. So that's good, and then I can just end up fraying the ends of that once it's completely glue if I decide to. I never commit myself to anything until the book is done, because I change my mind a lot, if you haven't noticed. And sometimes I try something and it doesn't work, so I try something else. This seems to be working, just slowly drying. Alright, so let's turn it back over. Now if I wanted to put a clip there on the edge, I could. Alright, I'll leave that like that. And I think what I'm going to do here is just give myself a very small amount of glue. So now I have, I have the elastic on both sides. As my closure here, I'll probably have to trim the front piece a little bit so that they're more even, but that's okay. And let's get my circle laid aside here that I was going to glue together before I lose it. Where's the other one? I may still glue those together and layer them up because that really looks pretty. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay a very thin layer of my white glue just kind of in under this edge so I can come back and just press it down along this edge to hold it down good. Trying to keep it all lined up there where I want it. Okay. Oh, went too far, didn't I? So let me spread that down. It won't hurt. I just simply spread that down. Then I'm going to bring that up and stick so that way I don't have any gaps. There we go. Wipe the excess off with my finger. I'm running out of off camera again. A bad habit of that. Okay, I like how that's laying down, so I'm going to do the same. Try to get a little bit lower this time with my glue so I don't get such a problem here. Make sure those edges come up along there. And we'll press and hold that for a couple. And I have nothing else to do in this video, so holding that won't hurt. All right, there we go. It's holding that up. Get rid of my little scrappy bits there that I can use for a cluster. I let them dry. And I'm just again gonna try to get it, and we're gonna put it on the edge of the lace because it didn't work out so much putting it on the book, did it? I didn't get it in the right spot when I went to put it on the book. All right, so now I'm gonna just lay this edge down here and hold it a bit. Now, make sure it's all pushed down good everywhere and didn't pull anything else up. I like how that other is kind of peeking out there too. Right along here and gives it a ruffly kind of look. I like it. Okay. All right. So there we have it. The Blue and Ivory journal. As I said, this one is sold already. So that is the Blue and Ivory journal that I made. We already flipped through it, so you've all seen the inside. And I'm going to quit videotaping here because I've been over my 30-minute fun time here. And I will be back next week to show you how I'm doing the cover on my boys journal and how I'm going to do the closure with it. So you all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful Sunday afternoon, and get in that craft room and relax and do some crafting when you get home from church on Sunday. It's very, very relaxing. All right. You all have a wonderful day. See you in my next video, folks.